Yeah, man. Man, I done had health problems just trying to keep up with a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, bro, I read that book
And
by Robert Greene.
the name of the book is what?
The Art of Seduction. You know what I'm saying? I read that book and it just made a lot of sense to me. It's one chapter where it says like create chaos in your. I'm thinking I'm wording it. I might be wording it wrong, but it's basically the same premise. It's like create chaos in your relationship to make your relationship stronger. You know what I'm saying? And like for somebody who don't know, you know what I'm saying? If somebody's doing that to you, you gonna bite into it. You gonna go into like somebody might your girl or your dude might start an argument with you and y'all arguing. The next thing you know what I'm saying? Whatever let's just say for instance, my girl wrong. She did some shit.
Mm-hmm.
My girl did some shit and she know I'm mad. She know I'm mad at her. So then we gonna get you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say something to her. Then she gonna say something back at me. She gonna bring up shit. She gonna be like, oh nigga, you was doing this and you doing that. You doing this. You doing that. You could be doing this. You be doing that. So now the whole situation turned around on me. So now we gotta have a conversation about the shit that we said and we did. You know what I'm saying? When initially it was about her. All right.
So do they consider that what's the term?
Manipulation?
Nah, it's manipulation, but it's
gaslighting.
Yeah, gaslighting.
It's gaslighting at its finest. You know what I'm saying? Because that's making you feel crazy and it's making you have to apologize for some shit that she did. You know what I'm saying? So, in a sense, if you just sit back and just stop arguing with the motherfucker, stop arguing with the dude or the woman, stop arguing with don't even argue with her. Be like, okay, all right. Then next thing you know, it's going to escalate. It's going, oh, nigga, da-da-da-da-da. All right. Oh, da-da-da-da-da. She might even bust your windows out. Now, you're not even responding. Now she thinks you cheating. Like, oh, you got another bitch. You don't even care. It ain't that you don't care, but you don't want to argue. You just don't want to argue. See, that shit could kill you stressing. That shit could kill you stressing over shit like that. So
let me ask you this. Why do you think in that regard the person, male or female, stress in that regard when it comes to that?
Because because they love the other person and they want the other person to be happy. See, when you trying to make somebody happy, you basically chasing the dragon. You chasing the drug. It ain't no way you can make nobody happy. They already got to be happy when they come to you.
So let me ask you this. In making somebody happy, do you believe that once you're trying to do that, you end up forcing yourself to be miserable?
And I think so. You really just and when you're trying to make somebody happy, and when I say trying to make, I'm not saying make somebody unhappy, because it's not my job to make you happy, but it's not your job, or it's not my job. It's not our job to make each other happy, but it's definitely not our job to make each other unhappy. So I feel like we do things for each other, and we should experience them and be happy together. But we should be happy. But you should be happy anyway. And if you're not, you're gonna try to drag if somebody happy and somebody miserable, the miserable person gonna try to drag the happy one down into the gutter with them. Because misery loves company
all the time.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to have somebody who understand. Like, you got to have somebody who understand, who enjoy their own company. Like, I enjoy my own company. I don't have to have nobody around me 24/7. I ain't got to be laid up in the bed, cuddled up all the time. I ain't got to do that.
So let's deal with that. Why do you think people don't enjoy their own company?
Because they did everything they could to not be alone. Like it was being alone is a scary place, and people, it's not a scary place, but in your mind it could be a scary place. But once you have to be alone, once you have to handle things on your own and be on your own, you see it's probably one of the most comfortable places you're gonna be, because the only one person that you can depend on that's gonna make sure that you're good is you with them.
That's you.
That's you. But then when you with somebody else, or somebody could be on point. They could be making sure you eat every day, making sure your clothes You know what I'm saying? Then you become codependent. So if they take that stuff away from you, guess what?
Then
It's an icebox where your heart used to be.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Do you think at that point you start chasing it like a drug?
Chasing it like a drug. Looking for that next feeling. Looking for that next feeling. I'm gonna tell you something. I wake up every day happy. I can lay in my bed all day and watch TV and be happy. You know what I'm saying? Be happy as hell. Until somebody calls me and makes me unhappy. At which I don't even start working on that. Can't nobody call and make me unhappy. If you call me on some bullshit and I cuss you the fuck out, guess what? When I hang up that phone, the moment is gone. I'm back in my mode. I'm not gonna linger and let shit linger and carry on. I'm not gonna do that. Because guess what? I'm the only one suffering. The person on the other end of that phone, they done achieved what they set out to do. And that was
the what now? Man, my bad. You said that was the what now?
I said the person that on the other end of that phone, they achieved what they set out to do, and that was to mess up my day. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't allow them to do that, guess what? When you don't give negative energy no energy, you don't give it no gas. You just let it play out, and you let whoever on the other end and whoever got a problem, you let them just keep on. You just let them wear themselves out like a child. Eventually, when they get by themselves, which that's the most scariest place for a narcissistic person to be. When they get alone, they have to think about all they actions. And that's what makes it so scary. That's what makes being alone so scary. You got to think about all the shit you done did. All the fucked up shit you done did. You could think you can lie to yourself. You could fuck somebody over and meet a new person and be like, hey, I ain't no bad person. But this person say I'm a good person. Just because this person didn't work out with this person, and then you fuck this person over, you move on to the next person. Guess what? You're never taking accountability for the shit that you've done. But when you get alone and you have to sit there and think about all the dirty shit you done did to people, all the fucked up shit you done, then, only then, when you start having to really correct your behavior. But if you're never alone, if you're just moving from person to person, you just always, I met this new friend, and I got this new girl, or I got this new nigga. You ain't never holding yourself accountable. And like I said, bro, I ain't perfect, but I done had to. I have been forced to at certain times to be alone, and I held myself accountable for things that I didn't even know I was doing. So guess what? Now being alone in a scary place for me. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people need to practice that shit.
I agree. So you think do you think in that sense, like people chasing the dragon is chasing companionship because they're not used to being alone?
I think so. And I think that a lot of people, especially nowadays, men and women, I think they're afraid of aging.
Go into detail on it.
I think that we live in a world that's so fast, and if you just think about the days, they're moving so fast. But I think people are afraid of age, and I think they're afraid of getting old, and that's inevitable unless you just die young. I think it's inevitable, but I think people want to stay young forever. They want to be fresh. They want to be new to somebody all the time, and you're not going to be fresh and new all the time. I'm just going to keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? If you're with somebody for 10 years, they're not going to be doing the same shit they was doing 10 years ago. That, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be the same, because you got to grow. You're going to grow, and you're going to evolve, and it's just not going to be that way. But like, a lot of people are scared to grow old because they feel like, if I get old, then especially when they are not in a stable situation. They feel like they're getting old and if I get a certain age, ain't nobody gonna want me or ain't nobody. But who cares about that shit? You still living, you still breathing, you still got life. Everybody's so stuck on having that image of being uh young or being being married. Like I want to keep it real. Like I don't believe in marriage like that. Like I mean, I
Why?
believe in marriage.
Why
I
not though?
believe in I believe in marriage, but I don't. And I'm gonna explain why.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to sign up for nothing to prove that I love you. Like we shouldn't have to go through all these um formalities to say you're my wife and I love you and I'm gonna be here forever. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of the getting married and wedding stuff is for show. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of marriages that I've seen, I can only think of besides my older uncles and aunts who are passed and gone. It's only one marriage that I know 30+ years and they still together. And I watch them go through stuff. I don't watch them move out from each other, move back in with each other. I done seen, I done seen all that shit. I done seen them sleep in separate rooms, all that shit, but they stay married. Um, Nowadays, when people are married, or if somebody go out and cheat, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I'm divorcing them, or if somebody somebody could just be going through something. Oh, well, they're not showing me enough attention. So, I think that's cruel and unusual behavior, and I just want a divorce. You know what I'm saying? Like marriages don't last because they're not real. Now, if you really love somebody, not saying that you don't get married. I'm not saying don't get married. I'm not telling people not to get married. But what I'm saying is marriage is an institution. So, what is an institution?
It could be many different things. Give your definition.
When I think of an institution, I think of a mental institution.
So you
I
think
think of
you
I
think
think
of
of
it more of like ball and chain lockdown.
I think of it as it is a ball and chain lockdown because you're locked down in the law. You're putting people in place to say, hey, we're going to be over y'all marriage. So whether y'all said it, we're gonna put y'all together, and if y'all want to break it off, y'all got to come to us too. You know, I don't think that love and relationships work that way. I don't think they should work that way. I feel like if you want to be there, but if you want to do it that way, it's fine. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's a good thing. Now, if you're gonna do it like that, how the other countries do it, shit, they have marriages that are arranged. Because guess what? This lady over here and her family, they worth this, and this dude over here, his family is worth this over here. Why don't we join our family?
So
In a business sense, you see what I'm saying? But people like it's a broke it's a broke person over here, the broke ass nigga over here, and then they get together and it's two broke motherfuckers that's married. What's the point? Just to tell people that you got a wife, a nigga. That's why I never understood motherfuckers marrying niggas that's in jail. Why would you marry somebody in jail? Why?
Do you know why?
I don't know why. Can you tell me?
I'm finna give you some insight.
Give me the game.
So some people marry people who locked up. They feel like they'll never have nobody anyway. So at least I got somebody to talk to, somebody who I can go see, somebody who depends on me. Sometimes it's all about, some people just want somebody who can depend on them, and they don't even have to be free physically.
So it's about control then. They want to be able to, they want to be able to go to the zoo and control their animal.
I mean, you using that analogy, but some people feel like that too.
I'm just saying, like, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like I got a pet monkey and it's wild, and I'm gonna take it to the zoo, and I'm gonna go see my monkey anytime I want to. Cause I know my monkey ain't nobody at nobody else's house. I know my monkey ain't running the street, and I can't keep up with my monkey.
But
right?
I'm saying it in this form. I'm not disagreeing that some people do look at it like that, but I'm saying it in this form right here. You got people who they don't have nobody who checking for them on a regular basis. They don't have nobody who's going to talk to them day in and day out. So they'll end up, male or female, getting a pen pal, and they'll end up marrying the pen pal because they have someone. Whether some people marry somebody who ain't never getting out of jail.
Right.
And they doing it for companionship of some sort. They doing it of a sense of somebody belongs to me. It's not some people are caught up on the physical. Some people just need somebody to lean on or need them, like either or. So what the person is doing is, that's why people get. Have you ever ever wonder why people get on dating sites?
Man, I ain't never understood that.
Like, think about this. It's for the same reason. You'll see people who see people day in and day out. Like, every day, if you free, you roaming, or if you living, even if you incarcerated, wherever you at, you're intermingling with the opposite sex in some form or fashion, right?
Right.
But you will limit yourself from the real world, your normal surroundings, and you run to the internet and get on a site because that's where you comfortable at. So even that's a sense of, I can control my atmosphere over here.
Right.
So what they doing, they running away from their surroundings. And what that is, they saying, at least I know they looking over here. So somebody gonna look at me.
Right.
Now I ain't saying whether it's right or wrong, but that's what's going on.
Right. I ain't knocking nobody for what they do. I just is how I feel about, you know what I'm saying, the state of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just a lot of, and then when stuff don't make sense to me, I say it don't make sense. But when I have a view on things and when I can clearly see what's going on, I'm gonna get straight to it because, like I said, marriage is an institution, and
marriage as it's presented to us in the Western civilization is an institution.
Okay, yeah, just like that. So if I was not doing well in life, nobody would want to marry me. They probably, okay.
I disagree.
You would have to have something to offer. You have to have something to offer. You got to have some good dick, some money. You got to have some type of quality to make somebody marry you. But those are not the qualities that are needed for marriage in other countries.
But see,
there are
in America. Think about this. In America, marriage is totally up to the individual.
Right.
In other countries, they're thinking about it as you stated. Oh, this is a business, so I need to financially benefit from this. Now, I'm gonna tell you this: a lot of women. It's gonna sound like I'm women bashing, but I'm gonna be honest. A lot of women have that mind frame more than men. Like, a woman will marry a person they don't care nothing about, but they will marry them because they are going to be financially better off. So they're going into this. Well, look, I lay with him, or I'll be with him for. I know he gonna take care of me. I don't really give a damn about him, and they'll still try to live in a single sense. Like, I still need my time. They are married, quote unquote, but I still need my time to do me. Because they never married for sacrifice. They married to benefit.
Right.
And I know a lot of guys who only date younger women to control them for the same reason, for benefit.
Right.
So it's a very touchy thing when it comes to that. But like marriage, this is my idea of marriage beyond the Western civilization. Once you committed in your heart and you find someone you can grow with, and I'm not the type of person, I don't believe in being happy. And this is why. Cause I could
being happy. You being happy with somebody.
I'm saying being happy, period. And this is why.
Oh, okay.
Because happiness depends on what's happening. As you alluded to earlier.
It's a choice.
So now sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Think about this. If like you could be quote unquote happy, but if you find out a loved one passed for that moment or that period of time, you're no longer happy.
That's the moment. Cause I don't mean to cut you off.
Nah, go ahead.
I got it wrote down on my refrigerator right now.
Mm-hmm.
It says live moment to moment and control my world. So what that means to me is, like you just said, I find out a loved one passed. I'm gonna be sad in that moment because you know what I'm saying, that was my heart, or that was my dog, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna be sad in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But then I have a choice. And I always wonder how people can be happy when people die. And they be like, hey man, I ain't saying that they gone, man. I'm happy because they're in a better place. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how sick can you be to miss somebody who died? You know what I'm saying? But you holler about you happy because they're in a better place. You ain't sad because they gone. Yeah, you sad because they gone, but you happy they're in a better place. And I get that because guess what? When my stepdad died in 2020, like it made me it sent me into a depression. But I had to make a choice after a while. Like, okay, am I gonna keep being sad, being depressed about this thing, or am I gonna start back living? Am I gonna start back being happy? I had to make a choice about being happy. And a few months ago, like I said, I wrote it down on my refrigerator, live moment to moment. I don't let moments ruin my happiness. So if I'm happy that day, I'm determined to stay happy. No matter what anybody or anything brings to me, I'm going to be happy that day. So I could be happy and somebody can say, hey, fuck your mama, and I'm going to burn your house down, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I might go back and forth with them in that moment, but guess what? I might, because I don't even learn that not even to give that type of shit energy.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? When it's done and over with, guess what? I'm back to my regular scheduled program. And that's by choice. You have a choice to be happy.
So, okay, you do have a choice to be happy. But what about unfortunate circumstances?
Hey, it happens.
Huh?
It happens. You just got to live in that moment. You got to go through it, get through it, and move on. And I know it sounds simple, but it is a process.
Absolutely.
You gotta go through it, you gotta get through it, and then you gotta move on. You know what I'm saying? That's me being accountable for me. That's me checking myself. A lot of people won't do that. A lot of people won't check themselves because they don't think they're wrong. Nobody. It just seems like nobody is holding themselves accountable. They want to hold everybody else accountable for their unhappiness and their happiness and what's going on in their life and what they're missing in life. They want to hold other people accountable instead of holding themselves accountable. I'm going to tell you something. If I want something, if I want to drive a Benz, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to hustle. I'm going to work my ass off to go get me that Benz, which I got. And I'm not bragging because I'm not no bragging ass nigga. Yeah. But I'm saying anything in life, material, mental, emotional, if I want it, I go get it because that's the determination in me. And I'm not gonna hold nobody else accountable. Say, well, I didn't get that Benz because, you know what I'm saying, so and so did this, and I let so and so borrow this, and I did this. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that because I don't feel like that's what a man do. I feel like a real man, gonna stand up and do what he got to do for anything that he wants and anything he's responsible for. And that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold nobody accountable. I don't say, well, yeah, Because then you're giving people control over your life. If I say, man, I couldn't do this because my baby mama put me on child support, and you know what I'm saying, like you, so basically you letting her, you basically saying that she control your life.
But see,
I'm not doing that.
People who do that are, for one, they're not taking accountability for their actions.
Right.
For two, they making excuses.
They're making excuses.
And two things a man don't do is make excuses, and a man is always accountable, and he never makes excuses.
Right.
If you ain't got it done, you just got to get it done.
I know, and you know, I don't talk about it much, but like my youngest son he has special needs, right?
Okay.
So raising a child with special needs is not for the weak. It's one of the most scariest things I had to do, especially when he was a baby and a toddler. You know what I'm saying? Like I was hands on every day with my son. Like I pretty much was doing it, and I was scared every day. For a long time, I didn't even sleep in the same. Like I would let him sleep in my bed, and I slept on the couch, and I would surround him by pillows because he was so small. I just couldn't. I didn't want to roll over on him. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I never crossed my mind was I can't do this. I ain't gonna do this because I had to.
Yeah, you got to.
I didn't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no choice. So, like I say, even with my peers, my people, I don't accept no excuses from nobody. I don't accept no excuses from nobody because I don't give them. I don't apologize. So now if I step on your foot or something like that, I apologize. Mm-hmm. If I make a mistake, I apologize. But saying some shit that I feel or doing some shit I feel, I never apologize for. And I don't accept apologies for people for especially grown people who do what they feel. You see what I'm saying? I'm very big on accountability because I hold myself to a high standard. And if you're around me, I'm going to hold you to a high standard too. My expectations might not be high for you. I might not expect you to I don't expect people to do shit. Yeah. But if I respect you, I hold you. If I respect you, I hold you to a high standard.
As you should. So let me ask you this. We before we started recording, you talked about how people will try to manipulate you into chasing the ghost to please them.
Right.
So go back into that instance for a second.
Okay, so.
And you don't have to use the example you gave, but just use another. You can use any example in that regard.
Okay, so what I was saying was like somebody they could do something. They could run a foul by you. They could do some foul shit to you, and you don't respond to them, and then they'll come back at you on some negative shit. They'll just keep because you're not responding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to respond though, if you were to respond and you was, like if somebody say, hey, you a bitch, and you say, hey, you a bitch back. Now there's a dialogue. Now there's a conversation to be had, an apology to be had because you said this and I said this. You know what I'm saying? And that's how manipulating people rope you into having a dialogue and basically taking the heat off of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's no longer about what they did; it's about what you said or what you did to them in return of what they did, responding to what they did. So people will do that because that's we already talked about the book, right?
About the what?
About the chapter of the book when I was like, people will cause chaos in their relationships just to make their relationship stronger.
Yeah, we alluded to that when we first started recording, but you can go back.
Okay, so it goes back to that. Like, if if people feel like they losing grasp for their relationship, or they feel like they're not getting what they want from you, they'll throw little shit out there at you to make you feel like a villain, and then then they expect you to come back and make it right for them, even though they did wrong. You know what I'm saying? And when you recognize that and you start seeing that, and then you start not responding to stuff like that, it infuriates them. But then at the end of the day, it's just like having a little child. You let them sit there and cool their heels. And when eventually when they calm down, they have to be accountable for their actions. They have to say, damn, I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I fucked up.
So basically, you think they in there and all their actions leading up, they're running away from accountability.
They're running from accountability, because if they have to be accountable for it, then they have to admit that they are wrong. They have to admit that they've been doing wrong. They have to admit that they're living wrong, and they have to change. And most people don't want to do that. They don't want to change. Change is hard. Changing is hard. Trust me. Changing is hard. I've had to change a lot of things about myself. I'm the same. When people say, "Oh, I'm the same person that I was," they're lying, because you have to change. And change is hard. But most people, like I said, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier, most people fear aging, they fear getting older, they fear evolving, so they don't want to change. And anything that threatens their way of life, or even the thought of making them have to change, is uncomfortable for them, and they're going to respond in a negative way.
So do you think when you hear the term, I'm gonna do what makes me happy, because the correlation, I got a correlation, but I don't want to give it just yet. I got a correlation to what you just said and that term. What do you hear when you hear people say, I'm gonna do, or I'm just living my life and I'm doing whatever make me happy? What do you hear when you hear that?
I hear that when somebody say that, I hear that they get it. They get it, because you only get one life. You're out here, you only get one life. Just think about how much time we wasted trying to make people happy. And it's impossible to do. Because listen, I'm gonna tell you something. My brother, you my brother, and I love you.
Absolutely. Same here,
If
my brother.
if I went out and bought you a Maybach, who's to say you'll be happy for that car? You'll be appreciative for it. But at some point, it's not gonna be enough, because you're gonna expect. Well, he bought me a Maybach. Shit, maybe he'll buy me a mansion, or maybe he'll put $1 million in my bank account. And and I'm using that analogy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, even in relationships, no matter what you do, you could marry your woman. And I'm not saying this for all. I'm just talking about me. I can marry my woman. I could put her in a house. I can make sure she got cars to drive. I can make sure she got food to eat. I make sure she got money to spend. She could be a housewife and not even work, and she would still find a problem with me.
So
and not saying.
Go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
And this is just hypothetical. This is just a hypothetical thing. So me trying to just make you happy is not realistic. So what I'm looking for and what I'm doing is making myself happy, and I'm looking there for the happiness in you. So shit, you can share that experience with me, and we can be happy together. But if you're fucking miserable and you hate your fucking life, and you're running from accountability, and you're running from your demons and all type of shit, of course you're gonna need a new toy every time we go to the store, because the old one just ain't gonna be good enough. It's just like a kid. It's just like a kid. It's just like kids. When you take a kid to the store, you can take your kid to Toys R Us and buy them a bag full of toys, and you can stop at Walmart on the way home, and they'll cry about one thing, because it's never gonna be enough. So they got to be happy with themselves. They got to be comfortable with themselves and being by themselves and loving themselves, to even consider being with somebody else, because it's not going to work. It's never going to work.
I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
It'll only work. It's going temporarily. You know what I'm saying? You'll have that person in your life or you'll temporarily have the things that you want in your life, but at the end of the day, you're still gonna be unhappy. So you gotta really just check yourself.
When I hear that statement that I made earlier, when I hear people say, you said you think they get it, but most people I hear make that statement, they are living exactly what you just stated. They're unhappy. They're grasping for what I call straws, and they're just, I'ma do whatever I want to do. When really I don't know. I'm unhappy. I don't know what I want, and I'm just gonna play it whatever makes me feel good in the moment. Not growing, because excuse me, a person who knows, think about this, a person who knows what it takes to make them happy are not going to say they're going to do whatever makes them happy.
No, she didn't. You did that shit. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Do that make sense though?
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense on both ends, because a lot of people don't know what they want in life, and that's what life is experiencing things, or finding out what you do like, and finding out the things that do make you happy. But in a sense, like with me, if I say I'm gonna do everything I want to do that makes anything I want to do that makes me happy, I pretty much know what makes me happy. I pretty much got it down pat about what makes me happy. So that's where I'm at. So now if somebody come along and they matching my happiness, what makes me happy. Not saying that they got to do everything I do, but hey, I might not like skydiving. Go have at it. Or if you want me to come with you, shit, you know what I'm saying, I might try it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm scared of heights, so I might not.
So
you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be happy for you either way.
So let me ask you this. Say you with a female who say, I'm gonna do whatever makes me happy, right?
Right.
And they like to skydive. But in them skydiving, guess what?
What?
For them to be happy in that moment, because we just stated happiness is dependent on what's happening. They want you to go. And if you don't go in that moment, you're not making them happy.
But guess what? That's when you compromise, baby. I'm scared of heights, but guess what? I'll be waiting on the ground for you to take a picture.
But you know how I know, if a person is living in that moment, it's whatever I want. Remember, it's what I want that's going to make me happy.
Okay, well then at that point it becomes manipulation, because I already told you I'm not comfortable with getting in no plane jumping out that motherfucker. So you're going to make me go against you're going to go against my inhibitions and my fears and the things I don't want to do, even though I will support you from the ground. You want me to be up in the plane jumping out with you. That's not compromise, and that's not being happy with yourself. That's being a manipulator.
So I'm glad you said that. Think about this. Most people who are seeing someone or date, most people who make the statement I made, I want to do whatever, I'm doing whatever make me happy. The person who they're dealing with, they're either going to manipulate them or they're letting that person manipulate them, right or wrong.
Can you ask me that question again?
I made the statement. The person who makes the statement, I'm going to do whatever makes me happy, right?
Uh-huh.
They are either with a person they can manipulate and seeing them, or they are with a person who manipulates them.
Yeah. At that point, if you're outwardly saying that, yeah, it could be either way. It could be either way. Because if you're with somebody that you respect and you really love, y'all are gonna do what makes us happy. So we're gonna be. I'm you know what I'm saying, the majority of stuff that we do, we like together, but it might be some stuff that she like to do on her own. And it might be some shit I like to do on my own. It might be shows that she like to watch that I don't like to watch it. She understands that, so she ain't gonna even ask me to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's about understanding. You love somebody, you understand. You know what I'm saying? You don't try to change them, or you don't try to manipulate them, or you don't try to pull them in no kind of direction. Because guess what? If they really love you, now back to the skydiving. Now, if I really love my woman, and you know what I'm saying, if she was really that to me, and she say, I really want to go skydiving, and she knows that I'm scared of heights, the only argument would be, well, damn, baby, you know what? I'm gonna go on and go even though I'm scared. And she gonna say, nah, I know you don't fuck with planes. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna ask you to go and do that. But guess what? That's gonna make me want to do it.
Yeah, cause she don't. If a person really love you, they're not gonna put you in
Man,
in a compromising position for you.
man, her expectations right where they supposed to be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They right where they supposed to be. They not, oh, if you don't do this, then nigga, you don't fuck with me, or you don't love me, and you ain't even, you know what I'm saying? That shit crazy.
Yeah.
Cause that's just like you being just a rotten ass person, and you with somebody, and then you expect them to fight off a fucking lion for you, to risk my life to fight a lion off of you. Now you done been fucked up to me this whole time we've been together, but then you want me to risk my life for you? I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. So
Yeah, man, it's crazy how it go, man. So let me ask you this: have you ever seen a relationship, marriage, or anything where both people are for each other?
um, I like I said, there's one when I think of marriage, and that a marriage that I've seen close up, personal, and I haven't seen everything in that marriage, but I've seen a lot of stuff in that marriage, 30+ years. I've seen that it's not easy, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of compromise and a lot of changing of the mind. Um, so I've seen it work, but it takes work on both ends. It takes work on both ends. It can't be or one, because if one person is always making the sacrifices, that you gonna eventually a nigga gonna start, or the boy or the female eventually gonna start feeling like the help instead of you know what I'm saying, your partner. They're gonna feel like the help. Like, damn, like all I'm here is for this. All I'm here is for sex, or all I'm here for is to pay bills and make sure this motherfucker straight, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's not a marriage. That's kind of like a dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a dictatorship. Now, in a sense of someone learning, you in a relationship and you teaching somebody, they gotta be willing to learn. They gotta be willing to learn, especially if it's something they don't know. And it goes back to what I just said. It just takes a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of work to be in a marriage, and to be in a successful marriage, or to be in a long have longevity in your relationship. It takes work. You know what I'm saying? You just can't think that your pussy or your dick is gonna get it done, or your looks, because that shit fades. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have something about you to make that person say, "Hey, I'm gonna be with this person for the rest of my life." I'm going on.
Yeah.
So, thank you so,
Yeah, man.
Patty.
It's crazy how this thing go.
Patty. Thank you so. Yeah. But hey, I'm all for black love. I'm all for white love, green, purple, whatever kind of love you got. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking none of that. I'm just saying, like, if your shit ain't right, and if you're not right, if your spirit ain't right, get it right.
Yeah.
Just get it right.
So I'm gonna ask you one last question before we get up off here. So how do you feel about the me versus you aspects in most relationships? Because in every relationship, it's been a period of time where it's me versus you.
What I think about the me versus you aspect of a relationship is you should just end it.
Huh?
Because if you're in a relationship where it's me versus you, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I feel like it's me versus them, we need to end it. Because for one, I'm not competing with you. You my woman. We supposed to be working together. And if it's me versus you, or if you feel like it's me versus you, then you are out, and you need to go on the other side and be there. You don't need to be with me.
Well,
if I got motion and you always got negative shit to say about what the fuck I'm doing, especially when it's positive, or if you're trying to destroy anything that I'm doing for us, you know what I'm saying, and the first thing come out your mouth is, oh well, motherfucker, I don't need you. I get up on my shit and I'll be a boss and I do this and I do that. You want to be here. You want to watch my moves and compete with me. You want me to help you compete with me, and that ain't gonna happen. Cause somebody in our relationship, it might be somebody doing more than the other person, and if it's a me versus you situation, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna get far because you got somebody that's trying to dig their heels in the ground to keep you from being successful. So I feel like as far as the me versus you aspect of relationship, if somebody's in that type of relationship, they can get out.
But what if going through that puts you in a place to where you solid? Now I ain't saying both people have the me versus you viewpoint, but I'm saying at some point in time, one or both parties are gonna have the me versus you viewpoint.
And you're asking what?
I'm saying, like, what if it takes getting through that process to glue the bond together?
Oh, go through it and get through it. That's my shit. Go through it and get through it.
Cause
if you feel like that's what you need, because I'm gonna tell you something. This shit don't come with This life don't come with an instruction book. So if you feel like you need that to get to the next level, you need them building blocks, because all the stuff that we go through, good or bad, are what make us. All the things when you brother, now we've been knowing each other for a long time, brother Roland. We've been knowing each other since school.
Absolutely.
Since we were kids.
Yeah.
And I done seen you go through stuff. You done seen me go through stuff. And guess what? I can't say I feel bad for you, because guess what, brother? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get where I'm going.
We here.
Yeah. So it's all building blocks to becoming the men that we are, and the people that we are, and the people that we're gonna be. So if you feel like that's what you got to go through to get through it, shit, do it. Because it's been times where I felt like, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I was a hot young nigga. You know what I'm saying? I was a hot young nigga, and I was out here in and out these women's bed, and I was breaking hearts and breaking charts. You know what I'm saying? But it became a point where I started dealing with a female who did the same shit that I was doing. And guess what? Guess what I used to say to myself?
What's that?
It's karma. I got to go through this. I got to see all aspects of what's going on to understand life. You see what I'm saying? I felt like I had to go. Okay, damn, it's my turn. It's my turn. One of my favorite things is everybody get a turn. It's always two sides of the coin, and it can't always go your way. You gotta, along with that steak, you gotta eat that broccoli too. You gotta take the shit that you don't like just as well as you gotta take the shit that you love.
Yeah, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
You gotta go through it, baby. You gotta go through it to become big and strong. Yeah. You gotta go through it.
Yeah, it's tough though. I've been through that same scenario. It's tough, but it do in the end, it do makes you appreciate. It helps you sympathize with the parties that you've wronged, and it also help you grow as an individual.
And look at you, grown man standing upright with your back straight.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. All the stuff that you had to go through, a lot of people probably would have. You know what I'm saying. A lot of people wouldn't even a lot of stuff I had to go through. A lot of people wouldn't even. They probably would have killed themselves, dog.
Yeah.
They would have probably killed themselves dead. And I'm standing right here. You know what I'm saying? Just living in it. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. And it took a long time for me to be cool with it. But guess what? I'm here.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like I wouldn't change a thing. But if you gotta go through it, if you feel like that's gonna make you a better person, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta take the long way. Sometimes you can't, even though the road is easy and you got an easy road to your destination, sometimes you gotta take the scenic route and take the long way around just to see everything that you got to deal with, to contend with in life. You know what I'm saying? Just like if uh I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna end it.
All right.
Let's just say if I ain't never had go get it, baby. If I ain't never had no place to live, but somebody always afforded a place for me to stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the hell I'm gonna learn how to pay bills until somebody say, "Hey man, you can't stay here no more. You gonna have to figure your shit out."
Yeah, you gotta go through. That's growth.
You
gotta grow.
Eventually, you're gonna get tired of having to go from couch to couch. And you say, "Man, let me sit in this. Let me sit on this. Let me sit outside all day in the hot sun because I ain't got nowhere to go and go. You know what I'm saying? And sleep in a car at night and think about and your stomach touching because you hungry. You ain't got no money to eat. You know what I'm saying? And then you spend your last money on a Nick sack, and then you smoke it. Now you hungry. Like, damn, that was a stupid idea. Like, you got to go through that shit. You got to go through all that shit to realize, hey man, let me go give me a set of keys to somewhere to call my own. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through that shit. You got to go through it. You got to get through it, and you got to become who you're gonna be.
Yeah, man, we gonna keep doing stuff like this. This right here. I'm gonna give y'all this, and then we're gonna get up out of here. This is RMJR, Geno Hernandez. We was having a conversation, just a phone conversation that we feel like needed to be put out to the public. And this right here is relationship 101 at its finest. And we're gonna leave y'all with that. You got anything you want to let them know, Geno?
Man, I love y'all, and if you a hater, you know what to do.
Hey man, and like that, as I always say, I think I got this from DJ Drummer. And like that, we go.